Amid a renewed outbreak of civil conflict in Syria, fresh chaos has erupted after more than 1,000 ISIS militants reportedly broke out of a detention facility, marking one of the most significant prison escapes since the fall of the group's so-called caliphate. The Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, or SDF, confirmed that around 1,500 ISIS-affiliated inmates escaped from a heavily guarded Shaddadi prison in Hasakah province, in what appears to be a coordinated assault exploiting wartime instability. According to Kurdish media outlet Rumour, cited by the Times of Israel on January 20th, the SDF issued an official statement acknowledging the mass jailbreak, which it linked to ongoing violence and weakening control amid escalating clashes. Earlier, the Syrian army had also confirmed that a number of ISIS members had escaped from a detention facility under SDF control, though it initially downplayed the scale of the incident and provided few operational details. In response, Syrian state media reported that the army has now imposed an emergency curfew in the city of al-Shaddadi, an area long considered a hotspot for militancy. The announcement was confirmed by Al Jazeera, citing Syria's state agency Sana. Officials declared the curfew after fresh armed clashes erupted between Syrian government troops and Kurdish SDF fighters, a fierce flare-up that threatens to undermine recent efforts to stabilize the region. Reports from January 19 indicate heavy fighting broke out barely a day after Syrian President al-Sharaa reached what was described as a limited truce with the SDF to ease border tensions. News of the daring ISIS prison break surfaced on the very same day that Syria's al-Sharaa held a phone conversation with US President Donald Trump, a coincidence that has drawn significant diplomatic attention given the timing and regional implications. According to reports, the two leaders discussed the ongoing instability in northern Syria, focusing particularly on the need to guarantee the rights and protection of the Kurdish people, reflecting Washington's continuing concern over Kurdish vulnerability amid renewed violence and shifting alliances. Syrian presidency statement said, quote, "Today, President Ahmad al-Sharaa held a phone call with the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Both presidents emphasized the importance of preserving Syria's territorial integrity and independence, and supporting all efforts aimed at achieving stability. They stressed the need to ensure the rights and protection of the Kurdish people within the framework of the Syrian state. The two sides agreed to continue cooperation in combating ISIS and eliminating its threats. They also expressed a shared aspiration to see a strong and unified Syria capable of facing regional and international challenges." During the call, several regional issues were discussed, with an emphasis on giving Syria a renewed opportunity to move toward a better future. Unquote. Iran has claimed that terrorist elements resembling ISIS fighters have infiltrated the country's recent wave of anti-regime protests, accusing foreign-backed groups of fueling the violence and chaos, according to a report by RT. An Iranian government official told RT that these terrorists are using violent and organized tactics clearly reminiscent of ISIS operations, suggesting coordinated efforts to destabilize the country from within. The official alleged that these operatives had received instructions from abroad to open fire on both protesters and police, a claim that reinforces Tehran's accusation of foreign involvement in the nationwide unrest. Authorities further alleged that members of these terrorist cells have carried out brutal acts, including the beheading of law enforcement officers in several provinces, drawing parallels to ISIS's barbaric methods. The same official went on to claim that militants burnt people alive and finished off the wounded, accusing the groups of deliberately targeting civilians to spread fear and undermine state authority. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has reportedly written to the UN Secretary-General, accusing foreign-sponsored operatives of carrying out ISIS-like crimes inside the country and urging the international community to intervene. In his letter, Araghchi detailed instances of beheadings and vicious attacks on security personnel and civilians alike, evidence, he said, of the terrorist dimensions of the ongoing unrest. Tehran has repeatedly alleged that the United States and Israel are the masterminds behind the deadly protests, claiming that both nations are attempting to destabilize Iran and engineer a change of government through covert means. Observers have also drawn attention to the global echo of terrorism, recalling that ISIS had carried out one of its deadliest assaults in recent years, the 2024 mass shooting at Moscow's Crocus City Hall. During that shocking incident, 4 gunmen stormed the concert hall, killing 149 people and injuring more than 600 others, while causing estimated property damage of over $76 million. Russian investigators later identified 19 individuals, including the attackers, accomplices, and weapon suppliers, as members or affiliates of ISIS networks spanning several countries. The conclusion of the Russian probe further asserted that the Crocus City Hall massacre was executed in the interests of Ukraine, a claim that has since added a new dimension to the ongoing geopolitical rift between Moscow and Kiev.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.